Everybody, welcome back to the corner. Okay, let's just roll the theme song because I'm so excited to talk about this and we ain't got time. Later. Everybody, welcome to my corner.
Welcome to my corner. Let's have a talk now. From Miami to California. Check your girl out. I'm gonna give it to you straight up. That's right. That's right. Keeping it real, no games inside. Let's go. Welcome to my corner, y'all.
Okay, so tonight, Lifetime aired the Wendy Williams movie, the biopic. And Wendy Williams said that we were going to enjoy it, but baby, I didn't know I was going to. Oh my gosh, she should have said, please bring tissues, because goodness gracious, let's just run it down from the beginning, okay? So the movie kicks off with her childhood, okay? And her childhood is tragic. She's overweight because she's super tall, and so because she's super tall, you know, like she's a big girl, she's overweight, right? Okay, so her parents are like, you need to go on a diet, okay? They literally tell her she needs to eat tuna and water. And they're like, can you fit in this dress? Is somebody sneaking you Twinkie? She used to have to do a weekly weigh-in, you guys. Like, the girl's life started jacked up as a child, okay? And so from that, triggered her into becoming bulimic, okay? So as a child, she struggles with her weight because her parents are like, yeah, you big, you a big one, girl. And so that triggers her into being bulimic, okay? So we already in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and I'm like, oh my God, good God, okay. So after that, and as a child, you know, it shows that she wanted to be a radio personality. That was her dream. So we fast forward a little bit, and we are now in DC, okay? So in DC, she is a radio personality. And she's just starting off, and she has a drug addiction. Now, back in the 80s, like, everybody had a drug addiction, so it's not really that big of a deal, but it is that big of a deal. But she was snorting a coat in the bathroom, and I was just like, oh, Wendy, okay? Now, not only is she a drug addict, but the girl gets raped. Like, can we just pause for a minute? You had a terrible childhood, okay? Now you get the opportunity to live out your dreams. You're a drug addict, and she gets raped. She gets raped. And then that's where the Wendy Williams we know was created, okay? So she said after she got raped, she would never allow anyone to close her mouth again. She was always gonna speak. And so she gets raped, right? She's working in DC, and her dream was to always go to New York. Her dream was always to work in New York. So now she gets the opportunity to work in New York, and this is where it like sets the whole entire stage, okay? So she starts working in New York, and she has this girl that she's like in love with that's a radio personality that she wanted to meet, but she actually ends up filling in for her. And then that's like, she ends up telling celebrity gossip, and then boom, that's how she gets her start, like to becoming Wendy Williams, the person who knows all the tea. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm not a Wendy Williams fan, okay? I'm not. Like, I don't watch the Wendy Williams show because personally it's just a little too much for me. Like, it's a little too extra, it's a little too messy. Like, if I want, I can read the shade room, okay? But I don't want to hear Wendy Williams say, how you doing? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I love that she gets the tea, she's great at her job, but I just couldn't. But after watching the documentary, y'all, I felt so bad for her that I wanted to go watch a show just so I can make sure she keeps getting money, because I just felt so bad for her life. I mean, honestly, I understood her more. I understood why she does what she does, because everybody always says like Wendy Williams is evil. How could you be so hateful? But I'm gonna put it like this. After watching this documentary, it is way easier to look at other people's life and examine them than put a mirror on yourself. Let's be very clear. Wendy Williams has issues, but like, life was not a walk in the park for her. So let's just run back to her story, okay? So she ends up moving to New York. She meets this guy, he's a DJ, and they are together. He ends up ruining her credit. She ends up getting pregnant from him, has an abortion, okay? Has an abortion all by herself, doesn't even tell the man she's pregnant, all right? Eric B, that's who she had a baby with. And then she gets married. Like, we skip over the first marriage. Nobody even cares to talk about it. So she gets married, gets divorced, right? And then she meets Kevin Hunter, okay? Now, Kevin Hunter is the man that we all know about now. The relationship where she's been married for 22 years and he cheated for 20. Let me say it again for the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. She's been married for 22 years and that man cheated for 20. So 2 years, they start off on a good foot and he was just cheating, okay? And so she meets Kevin Hunter, And they get married. Well, they fall in love. They get married. Okay, so I never knew. I knew Wendy had a kid, but I didn't know there was a fertility issue. Now, in the biopic, the girl had 2 miscarriages and a stillborn, and then finally got her son. When I tell y'all, I'm watching the documentary like, oh my God, like no woman should have to do, like every time she thought she had a chance, she would lose her baby. Like she went to the bathroom, lost her baby at like 7 weeks, I think. Next time she's 5 months and loses the baby. Then she's 5 months again. She's at a grocery store. Her water breaks. Baby doesn't make it. Baby stillborn. Okay, so she loses 3 kids and has an abortion. All right, all while being a radio personality. Like she was killing the game. Like she literally takes no days off, still continues to kill the game because she said she had a dream, and she said that she was not gonna let nobody silence her, so she was gonna speak, and she had a dream and she was going for the dream. Okay, so finally, after the stillborn baby, she has her son, which is Kevin Hunter Jr., which is the one we know all about, who punched his dad in the face. And honestly, after watching that biopic, I can't even blame Kevin Jr. for punching his dad in the face. I punch him in the face too. He's trash. But I digress. Okay, so she has her son. Life is perfect, so she thinks. Come to find out, her husband, he got a woman on the other side of town. Not even on the other side of town, like 10 minutes away. And she knows, okay, Wendy knows she's being cheated on, and she stays. Because at this point, she's just like, well, you know, I'm just trying to make sure we can have our perfect family. Girl, what? Girl, what? Like, you really gonna stay with this man? He has cheated on you for 22 years. Y'all been married for 22. He's been cheating for 20. And you mean to tell me that you're gonna stay? So she confronts him about it, and he's like, you know, this has been hard on me. You know, you having miscarriages. This wasn't easy on me. I just need somebody to talk to. So Wendy takes him back. Wendy stays. Okay, so now her career is growing. She's on Hot 97. Well, Hot 97 does not like the way she does radio, okay? Like, it was to the point where Diddy called because of her mess. Now, I was on Twitter during the movie, and they were saying, like, they glad that they grew up in the era when she was on the radio, because Whitney Houston called in, and Whitney Houston and her went back and forth on the radio. Like, people would call in and curse her out. That's how much tea she was spreading, okay? And then, like, in the movie, Total, the group comes, they pulling up like, meet me outside, son, meet me outside. And I was looking on Twitter to see how factual it was, and it was like, nah, that really happened. So one thing I will say is that the biopic literally nailed and mirrored her life. Like Sierra, what is her name? Sierra Payton was Wendy. And Sierra Payton deserves an Emmy because she nailed her mannerisms, even to the way Wendy Williams turns her head and she walks and she twists. That girl nailed it, okay? Nailed it. And so Lifetime got it right with the mannerisms. Lifetime got it right with the actors. Lifetime got it right. Everything. Lifetime, they didn't miss. Okay, I'm gonna put it like this. They didn't miss. All right? So anyway, so after that, Hot 97 basically tells her, like, look, we're gonna fire you. So she moves to Philadelphia, and in Philly, she kills it and brings the radio market up, like, kills it, right? And then here comes the Wendy Williams show, because now somebody wants to put her on TV. So while she's doing the Wendy Williams show, her husband, the cheater, is now her manager. So not only does Wendy not leave, but she has now made her man her manager. Girl. What? And so she makes him the manager. They have the Wendy Williams show. He is now the executive producer of the show, okay? So basically, Wendy is his source of income, okay? Well, let me tell y'all what Kevin does. Kevin goes out, gets a whole nother house, and has a whole nother family on her. And Wendy finds out. And Wendy's like, well, you know what? Because my son is so close to being 18, I'm going to just stay. Girl, what? Like, when I tell y'all I'm watching the movie and I'm stressed, because I'm just like, you don't even know your self-worth. You don't know your value. You don't know your self-worth. And you get up on TV every single day and you be on people's business. But the gag is, we need a therapist for you. Like, you need help. And so, you know, Kevin lies his way through. She sucks it up or whatever. And then we fast forward. She passes out. Remember when she passed out in that green outfit all over? It was all over the news when she passed out, right? So they do that in the scene, and the next thing you know, she's in a rehab facility. Well, Kevin puts her in a rehab facility only to have a baby with somebody else. So Wendy is in rehab while Kevin is living his life. When I tell y'all, I'm watching the movie and I'm just like, oh my God, like what in the world, girl? What in the world? Why would you do this? Like, why would you put yourself through this harm? You had a drug addiction, now you're alcoholic because your life is falling apart, which I understand. And so like, it's tragic, okay? So finally on like the last scene, Wendy finally is like, you know what? We're getting a divorce. You're no longer the executive producer. And she said something so amazing. She's like, good luck trying to figure it out because I put food on your table. You're going to starve without me. And I said, and that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb, Wendy. He gonna starve. Let him starve, girl. Let him starve. So honestly, y'all, the documentary is airing right now, but I wanted to take a break because it was so heavy. It was dark. It was sad. Like, I understood her more, but I also had a lot of sympathy for her. And I'm just like, girl, do you need an altar? Like, you can find salvation here because, girl, we need to get you prayed for because it's easy to stand in front of a camera every day and talk about current topics and hot topics and people's lives falling apart. But, baby, that mirror, Wendy, the mirror, sis, the mirror. Like, your life is tragedies in common. I don't know if it's tragedies now, but she was going through a lot. And every day she showed up. And I will say this, I love that she had a goal and she was driven and she saw something. Like, I will say this, Wendy worked hard to be where she is, okay? She never took no as an answer. They tried to silence her. They tried to tell her, this is the way you have to do radio. And she defied the odds. Round of applause. Round of applause. That girl's good at what she does. I just wish that her life wasn't so tragic behind the scenes. Which is why you also have to remember, like, you never know what's going on behind the camera. So always be careful. Always be patient. Always be kind. But y'all, I was watching that movie and I was just like, so like, I was sad. It was great though. Like, total 5 stars on everything, the acting, the writing, the directing. I was very much pleased, okay? Because, you know, you gotta be careful with Lifetime because sometimes Lifetime will hit or they will miss. Like with that Whitney Houston documentary, it was a miss. But it was really good and I hope you guys like it and watch it. I guess we'll do the documentary review tomorrow if I watch it. But you guys, it was so good. The second part, or no, you know, Lifetime gonna play it out. So it's coming on again at 11 Central Standard Time. Watch it. And if you don't watch it, record it on your DVR and watch it tomorrow. But like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, y'all gonna need a Kleenex because if you're like me, watching a woman go through all that on her body, I was just sad for her because I was like, dang, more than anything, she wanted to be a mom. And she went through a lot to get her son. So that's why he's so special. So yeah, that was my movie review. Let me know what y'all thought in the comments. I love y'all. We'll talk later. Peace.